I'm going to create a quick plastic trash can for the laundromat scene, and I have a couple other things that I'm going to do on the side in the interim, and then in the next video I'm going to show you the final project and how I did a few things, and we're going to wrap this series up. Alright, so I'm going to bring in a circle. I'm going to leave it at the default 32, and I'm going to press E to extrude, pull up, something like this. E and S, come out a little ways, E and come up like that, and then E and S, come out about like that, E and come down. That's the main part of the trash can modeling that we're going to do. Next thing I'm going to do is Control R, drag an edge loop about 4/5 of the way up, something like that. Press 3 for face selection and C for circle select. Let me just zoom in a little bit, and I'm going to choose, those are the two center ones. Come out one there, and hit escape. Control 1 to look from the back. Those two, 1 and 1, so that's even. 3 to look from the side. Those two, 1 and 1, that's even. Control 3, the same thing. Those two, 1 and 1. So I have all of that selected there. I'm going to press I to inset, hold Shift, and pull down like that. And then E and Alt S and push, so that they go in a ways like that. Okay, I'm going to look in wireframe and box select the bottom, just like that. I'll get all that stuff, X faces. That's uneven now, so box select in vertex selection and SZ0 to scale that down. Okay, so I have this. All right, I'm going to consider dropping an edge loop in there just to give it a little bit more support, because we'll be putting a subdivision on this in just a second. So let's do that. Let's have a look at this with Control 2 and shade smooth and drag an edge loop up like this to about there. I want it a little bit rounded, so we have this. All right, gonna need a couple more edge loops. Come up to there and down. I don't want it too sharp. I want it relatively smooth like that. And we're going to come in here, and I'm going to drop an edge loop there, and another one, again, not too sharp. So that all looks good to me. I'm going to add a solidify to this now, and solidify, I'm going to just drag it above, and let's have a look at this. Okay, that looks okay. It doesn't have to be really thick. I'm never going to focus in on this part very much, but if you wanted to, you can play with how much, you know, you give it. But I'm just going to leave it, I think, let's do that again, just at the default that it comes in as, just to give it some thickness. And you can put it on top if you want. If I do that, actually, let me see, maybe I'll give it a little bit more. I'm going to apply that, and then I want to get rid of the bottoms because that's going to sit right on the ground. I don't need that there. X faces. So we have this so far. All right, now I'm going to look from the front and come in, and I'm going to, in edge selection, there's the center one. I'm going to select the two on the outside of the middle. So I've got that. Shift D to duplicate, pull that out, and P to break it out. And then I'm going to look back at it, go in and box select these vertices, just drag them underneath. This is going to be the handle. I just want it underneath that lip. Take that and SX, scale it to the X and make it a bit wider, almost equal to this. You can make it as wide as you want, but I'm just going to do it like that. Take that, sort of pull it back, and then E to extrude and pull it out. I don't need the subdivision on there, so I'm going to do that. Take these two, and I'm going to pull those down like that. And then I'm going to select this edge and this edge, F to make a face. So we're going to be doing something like that. So let's take this now and Alt N, recalculate outside. And we can try E and Alt S. And let's see. No, I think instead we'll use solidify for this. So solidify, I'll put on even thickness, and just decide which way you want to go. I'll go inwards, I guess. It'll be a little warped, so we're going to work on that. I'm going to go ahead and apply that. Slash key to focus on that and get rid of the back faces. And then I'm going to select this edge here I'm just going to pull it up so it's straighter and looks a little bit more reasonable. Shift Alt and click that edge and that edge going all the way around. Control B and bevel, and you can put however many you want. I'm going to put 5 and just kill this thing. Select all of these edges there all the way around. I'll just use 3 on this bevel with 3 and a shade smooth. And let's bring that other thing back. And let's just once more recalculate outside. Just merge in case I did anything funny. Okay, and this thing we can mirror. I think I will go ahead and, for unwrapping this, I'm going to select this edge and these middle edges. I'm going to do all the middle edges. Let's start with that. Control E, mark seam before I apply the mirror, and I'm going to come over to UV editing and select that, and I just want to unwrap that and see what that looks like. I want to put one more edge in here, or 2 actually. I want to, I want to get under here and select that middle edge and split that, and also back here. I'll just do the middles, and I think it'll be fine. Select that, unwrap, and I'll get this. Okay, so that's okay. I can leave it like that, or I can join it. It's not really gonna matter. But I want to come back to this one and see if I lower that. I'm going to go with 1 subdivision and apply it, and then I'm going to come in here and actually get rid of some edges that I don't feel I'm going to need. A whole bunch of edges that are extra. The main edges, I guess, that I wanted, there's all of these, are the ones going around to give it more smoothness. So I've got that. I can also take this one and scale Z0 just to straighten that. Okay, so that doesn't really appreciably change that much. Let's see. Maybe that one I'll keep. And I'm going to do a similar thing on the inside. I'm just going to get rid of extra edges that seem like complete overkill, that aren't necessary, especially on the inside, which we're not going to see. And whether or not you needed to use solidify or not is something you can think about. Okay, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to select one, I think maybe the innermost edge that goes all the way around. So that one, this is for marking seams. This one, and this one, Control E, mark seam. I'm going to do that. I'm going to choose one under here, the middle one there, mark seam. I can actually get rid of a couple of those, and maybe we'll take this one here, we'll break it here, mark seam. Let's have a look at what that does. You unwrap. Let's just have a look at what this stuff is. That's the bottom stuff there. That's okay. All right, I think we are all right. So if I take the whole thing now, and maybe I'll unwrap again. I just want to see how small those end up. Yeah, they're pretty darn small. Take those. Let's make those a bit bigger. And then I'll take it all. Let's turn that off. Take it all, and we'll pack. I'm going to use Pack Master, but you can use Blender for that. Okay. And I won't apply the mirror yet. So that's my trash can. I'm just wondering if I needed another edge loop up here for shading. I think it looks a little bit better. I don't think that's going to change anything. I'm just going to pack it again. Okay. All right, so that's done, and now I'm going to export this as an FBX. All right, here it is in Substance Painter, and what we'll do is we'll bake the mesh maps now. So let's do that, bake them. We'll go for 2K, and I'll uncheck those. I'll bake. It's not the best unwrap, but it should work for what we're going to do. Very simple material. I'm going to add anti-aliasing for the moment. Okay. Yeah, so this is what we have. Just a prop in the scene. And so what I'll do is I'm going to come to my materials. I'm going to look for plastic. I'm going to find plastic grainy. That should come with Substance Painter. I'm going to drop that in there. I'm going to switch this to triplanar. Hide the manipulator. And I'm going to increase the scale to about 6 or 7 to give that. But we will not stay with that black. We'll bring that up to a gray or maybe even a green. I'm not sure. Something like this. And then I'm going to, with the magic wand, choose Add Filter. And I will add that matte grainy finish that I've often used. And just play with the scale grunge, the intensity, and something like this is going to be fine. And let's go back here, and I think I want it a little bit rougher, maybe something like that. Okay, so I've got some sort of roughness variation in there, and maybe I'll just put a few scratches on here. Let's bring this up to 2K for the texture, and just create a fill. And I'll use color and height for the moment so I can see what I'm doing. I'm going to drop this down a bit, add a black mask and a fill, and in the grayscale I'm going to type scratches and choose this last one here. So we'll get this, and I'm going to drop the balance, increase the contrast, decrease the width, maybe the quantity. Okay, now I'm going to come back to the main layer. Just alt click on the height so I have just height, and see, I just want a couple scratches, and I don't care about the height. I don't mind if there are a few of them. Just do this. No, not that. Yeah, maybe the length. There. Right, just so that it might catch a bit of light depending on where you're at. Let's think about. Let's do scratches. I'll just leave it like that. Let's think about some dirt and see color and roughness. I'll spin the roughness all the way up. Drag that up and get a dark brown. Just going to use the generator for this. And dirt. And yeah, good. Okay, it's going in to the crevices there a little bit. All right, so just drop that. Less is more, kind of, but it accentuates it. And you know, you could then paint and make it all grungy and stuff. I'm not going to bother doing that. I'm just going to leave it as that pretty much. And that there is my trash can. I'm just going to look under a couple of different lightings. All right. So the light is definitely going to determine how it looks, quite obviously, right? Okay. Yeah, that's about it. I'll just leave it at that. So, okay, so there's our trash can. I'm going to bring that into the scene, and I think in the next video, I have a few things that I want to do on the side, and I'm going to wrap it up, and I'm going to show you the final model. I'm going to show you the final textures. I'll tell you a couple of things about how I brought my textures in, and I'm going to show you some renders, and you know, I can talk a little bit about my post-processing. All right, so thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next, and I think final video of the Last of Us Laundromat series.